What is up, everybody? Good to see everybody in the chat here today. Hopefully, Joe gets his stuff together and joins us here today. He's not here yet. So hopefully we hear from my favorite Hebrew soon enough. Otherwise, we're going to have a very leavened chat. Good to see people here in the chat. I see Danielle, David Noble, what's up? HM, what's up with the bread? And good to see all of y'all in the chat. I'm going to be back here in Korea, laying back, enjoying stuff. I'm still recovering. I did not have a chance to jump on with Ricada or Legal Bites last night. I was wiped the fuck out. So I just died last night and recovering. But yeah, good to see everybody. Hope you had a good Cinco, or I guess it is Cinco right now for you guys. So, if you've got your margaritas, if you got your bottle of tequila, shout out to you guys. Hope you're doing well. And, do those shots for me, guys, because we don't get good tequila here. It's like your choices are Patron or maybe Don Julio at best. But yeah. Not my favorite brands. But good to see everybody here in the chat. What's up, Jeremy, IFID? Blonde Asian, what's up? Kelly, what's up? Nikki, what's up? Stormy, what's going on? Yeah, good to see you guys throwing back the people. Neo Caro, good to see you from FNF. That was fun down in Miami. Had a great time. David saying, though, the resolution is horrible. Okay, so R's in the chat, if the resolution is okay right now. B's in the chat if it's bad. So R's in the chat if the video is looking good. B's in the chat if it's bad. I just want to see how it's looking right now. Let's see who else in the chat. Janania, what's up? Aldo Pine, what's up? Jamo, what's up? Pastor Flash, what's up? Yes, I am back in Korea on my throne. People are saying R cleared up. Okay, good stuff. Okay. Somewhere between an R and a B. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully it stays pretty clear. I'm hard lined in right now. And today I'm actually going to upgrade my internet to the highest level that South Korea can possibly provide without being such a security threat that North Korea decides to nuke my internet connection. But yeah, we're gonna get some upgrades here, guys. We're doing some improvements in the Mindset Studio. We're also gonna get the background here if you guys hadn't seen it on my earlier stream. I had this. This is by Ziggy Shrugs. She sent this to me in Florida. So I'm gonna put this up. It's like canvas. So I'm gonna hang it up back here behind me on this wall. So it's gonna take the place of my clock. R.I.P. the clock. The clock served well, but it had a nice fall. It could have been when the ballistic missiles were shot off. Who knows? But yes, I'm back in Korea. I arrived 2 days ago. I'll be here for a while. I'm going back to the U.S. at the end of May to visit for another 2 weeks. And then I have a certain little event in June that I'll be attending. But I'll be just in and out. Just a rip and a dip, guys. I'm not saying it's for tax purposes, but I'm saying it's for tax purposes. Chris is saying he made the flight to Korea from Kansas. That's pretty rough. Whoa. Was someone saying that Kevin Samuels died? Who's saying that? That Kevin Samuels died? That's a pretty strong rumor. I would need to see some proof on that one, buddy. Also, Jeremy's saying, would you consider taking a guided tour of North Korea? Okay. Under certain circumstances. First of all, I don't want to be the only person back. But second of all, I want to have a little bit more assurance that I'm not going to get Otto Warmbeard, right? I'm not going to end up in the gulag, in the prison and end up getting an infection and dying, and they literally wouldn't send him back even though he was dying. Now he did some dumbass shit, but still, I need a little bit more assurances, but I would do it to see how crazy it is. I mean, you want to be able to see the insanity. That'd be a really great vlog. If I was able to vlog it. Of course, I don't think they'd allow me to vlog it with my vlogging camera. I think they literally give you a state assigned camera and it doesn't have enough for video. So yeah, I think they take your video cards and only allow a certain amount of video. So yeah, I don't think it would be anything but watching the propaganda stuff, which you can watch from outside of North Korea. You can just jump on videos. You could go on the old, back when Vice wasn't super woke and crazy. One of the things I liked from Vice was the Vice tour of North Korea. That was actually pretty good. That's really old content from them, though. That's when they were actually taking chances and risks. That was way back in the day. But yeah, no, I'm back, guys. So, he's going to need an entire army and tanks to escort North Korea. Yeah, maybe. That's why, by the way, I was like nervous in California, because as much as I've shit on Governor Gavin Newsom in that state, you never know. Some crazy unhinged Californian might ride on in. Okay. So anyways, I know a lot of other people are discussing Amber Heard and what's going on there. And I just wanted to, give my 2.5 cents here and give my opinions. I haven't been on a lot of the other channels, and frankly, I haven't watched the end-to-end coverage. And I am going to have tomorrow on Christina, who's going to be back. Radix Verum is going to be back tomorrow. And the funny thing about her is she's both been in the courtroom for the Amber Heard testimony, but also she went to DC to see what was going on with SCOTUS and all the protesters there. So she's seen both. So we're going to talk about both tomorrow. The headline is, of course, going to be Amber Heard, because only Amber Heard can make up this crazy Gone Girl shit. And what I want to do today, especially if Joe doesn't show up, I have a backup, because of course you always have to back up in case of failure. But I just want to rewatch with you guys like the pivotal testimony about the bottle and just break this down, because this is just absolutely insane. So like, I just want to do a rewatch of that specifically, because a lot of other channels, commentary, whatever else, but I want to focus on specific high impact segments that are more interesting to look at and break down, rather than doing the whole thing end to end. So, oh God, if the bottle fits, you must have quit. Get out of here. It was cringe today. BB's right here. Shout out to BB. Her stories today were cringe and awkward. Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable to see her lying like that. It just really, really, really makes me uncomfortable. So we're gonna jump into that. But yeah, just wanted to give Joe a little bit part. So guys, tell me in the chat what I want to hear from you guys. So other than the bottle moment, which we're gonna review, what were some of your highlights today in terms of Amber's lies? What are some of the best Amber lies that you got from her today? Obviously, we saw a lot of the video, and people have sent me a lot of different Twitter messages and other things like that, showing the lack of tears. The hashtag Johnson & Johnson no tears. I believe even did Yellow Flash sent me one. Yeah. And by the way, I'm going to be on Yellow Flash's show on this weekend, and I'll be there without any caps, because I don't have to take a COVID test. So I'll be able to stay like as long as I can. I'll probably stay like 2-3 hours. So I'll be on that show. But I mean, you have stuff like this, which was sent over to me, which is hilarious, just showing clearly that she's not crying, right? So she's making these like faces where she's acting like she's like, broken up, she's devastated, but it's Johnson & Johnson, hashtag no tears, right? So, and not only that, but to me, something that shows somebody is a little bit unhinged is when they flip from an emotion like that into calmness or into another emotion, like if they're flipping emotions quickly, right? So she's going from like crying, devastatedly crying, to back to baseline, or maybe even smirking a little bit, or neutral, or laughing. Like when you're bouncing that's not good. That's not good. So people saying she was able to get some tears out today. Okay. She got the onion juice out. She got the garlic, And I think Mindy brings up a good point, is that for actual victims, it is triggering, but I don't think she cares about whether or not she triggers actual victims. I don't think she cares about actual victims at all. If she did care about actual victims, she would realize that by bringing a claim, which is so far, based on what we've seen in court and everything we can tell, it seems at least partially fabricated, that's going to hurt the reliability of other legitimate victims. The same thing with Jussie Smollett. This is why this is a problematic case. Just like with Jussie Smollett, Jussie brought a fake racial crime. He said, hey, these whiteys, they're trying to hang me. What that did was, when it was proved to be a lie, it discredited other people who might legitimately have a racial violence claim. Because, yeah, there are legitimate racial violence claims. But Jussie was not one of them. And the same goes for Amber. There are legitimate claims of sexual violence. Amber just happens to not be one of them. And by the way, she's never filed a police report or put anything into police documentation regarding sexual violence. To me, I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing this story. I'm hearing it all. So let's see. James Franco, she totally slept with him. Okay. Yeah, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Getting a little bit of the Franco. Only doing drugs with Johnny once. You know that's bullshit. You're in Hollywood. You're in Hollywood. Talking about the carpet and hasn't mentioned munching it once. There we go. Posing for the camera. Kate Moss and the stairwell. Yes, saying that essentially what the implication is that that Johnny would toss her down the stairwell like Kate Moss, which is ridiculous. Her posing for the camera. I think that's a good one. Drugged through glass but no medical care. I think this is the biggest one for me that jumped out even in the beginning with her allegations, is that how are you drugged through glass and not need medical care? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I got when the clock dropped, I got a little piece of glass in my skin. And I was like this close to going to the doctor to have them remove it. I removed it myself, but I was like that close. It got in my foot. And I was like walking around, a little shard of glass got in my foot. And I was about to go to the doctor for that. Imagine if you were drugged through glass. You would need professional medical attention in the way that she was saying, like broken bottle, glass on the floor. She's drugged through it. You're not just going to walk that off and not be scarred. That's not funny. She clearly hasn't been drugged through glass. She's seen it in a movie or something. It's like a script she's seen that she imagines this is something that you can just kind of remove and wash and put a Band-Aid on and it's all fine. No, that's going to scar your skin. That's not going to be a good look for you at all. Where is Drex when we need him? Oh, guys. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, do not worry. I have Drex on speed dial. I will be having Drex on. We're going to talk about this. We're going to definitely talk about this with Drex and what's going on with Amber Heard. So don't worry about it. He's coming on for sure. Goose says, as a survivor of DV and SA, the fact she's trying to say she was RP'd with a bottle and didn't seek help is so unbelievable. Yes. And guys, I'm going to play that clip for those who actually have dealt with this. I just want to give you a warning. I'm going to play that trip of Amber Heard. If her lies and whatever, are problematic for you, I'm very sorry. I'm even going to play this. It's her court testimony. You've seen it before. If you've watched it, it's real bad. It's real bad. And yeah, saying right here, she's already been caught and with opening statement lines from the movie. Yeah. There you go. Speaking of movies, I once watched a movie, The Ten Commandments, and I thought that I knew all about Judaism. But when I really wanted to understand the depths of the binding covenant between man and the Hebrew tribe, I call him my good friend, Joe Nierman from Good Logic.
I like that. I like it. I'm no longer a political assassin. I'm no longer a lawyer. I'm your resource on Judaism. I am the rabbi in the house.
Yes. Well, I mean, you saw, I appreciate your rabbinic wisdom. I appreciate you were educating those unscripted fools on the line of Aaron versus Jewish ancestry. I'm like, that's in the Bible. Have you guys not read the Bible? I knew that. That was that's basic.
All over Leviticus. Can I tell you something really cool, by the way?
What's cool?
Really, really cool. There's a book called Torah Codes. You mentioned Aaron, so I'm going to mention something crazy cool.
Torah Code.
Torah Codes.
So,
two words.
Codes, okay.
Yeah, Torah Codes, where they basically look at different. They break down, and they've used now computers to break down the letters that as written in the Torah. And basically, the section of Leviticus is really that's where we start introducing the different sacrifices and different roles of the priests within the within the temple and what they were supposed to do and restrictions that they had, special restrictions and benefits that they received. And Torah Codes did a breakdown where they were if you go every 50 letters, they count off every 50 letters. So the name Aaron is spelled with 4 letters in Hebrew. It's the 4 letters are an aleph, a hey, a resh, and then a nun. So they're 4 different letters. And they're if you look throughout Leviticus, the sections where they're talking about the priests, and you count every 50 letters starting from this word, it's you'll spell Aaron
Wow.
There's like 400 different ways. They found like a dozen different ways that it's like if you line up the letters like this, it's like it reads Aaron down like over and over and over again. It's like basically they're just constant like hidden references to Aaron, who was the father of all priests. And
wow.
Yeah, so
That's some numerology shit. I like that. I like that a
like
lot.
crazy. I mean, they said that statistically, the chances of like a man being able to like create that is one of the signs they use, because Torah codes signs show the divinity of Torah. So they say that the chances of a man being able to comprehend a way to create something laced in like that is like, in dozens of different ways, is like one in like, I don't know, quadrillions. So yeah,
beyond the power of them at the time without computers writing on papyrus,
and it's like, and you wouldn't, no one probably knew about this until like 20 years ago, when people started like using computers.
Right, people weren't thinking about that, like thinking about the alignment of
like the alignment, counting every 50 letters, and like it's sort of insanity. But
that is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Guys, Joe Nierman. So Joe, you've been covering I know you've been doing some stream sniping. So you've been and you've been on other people's streams. So you've been covering the Amber Heard stuff, right?
Inception by lunch today.
I'm okay. Look, no. We're all cool with this here.
No, we all sleep with each other.
Whoa. What happens between you and other people in LawTube is none of my business. But,
I was streaming Nick today by lunch. I was streaming Nick's channel. And then jumped onto his channel for an hour today, where if you turn into my channel, you would see me looking at me talking to Nick. It was like total inception. He was
that
laughing.
That is really weird. That is really weird. I had
to set up the sound system so I wouldn't hear myself reverberating, but they would still hear me on my channel and hear everything normally. So that took a little work, but yeah, it all sorted out, and it was pretty cool actually. So
Joe. I mean, it's just like Joe just going in on himself. That's it's very Joe of you, Joe. It's very Joe of you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, sleeping
really
with each other, including ourselves.
Yes.
Gives new meanings to the phrase "go f yourself."
Yeah. So Max says, sourcing her scripts like 50 Shades or Old Rules. In the Kavanaugh hearing, they read Mark Judge's Wasted, but didn't know which parts were fiction. That's kind of true. Why weren't you on Legal Bites? I was sleeping, bro. Like, I just got off a flight back to Korea. I'm tired as hell.
Yeah,
so
why weren't you on Good Logic?
I was asleep
today is the real question.
I was asleep. Yeah, well, I can be on Good Logic now because it's all out there, and I will be. Put it that way. Cue the 15 Commandments skip by Mel Brooks. That's a great one. Damn it, Joe. Got too drunk and passed out. Did anyone point out that she was dressed like RBG? Also, did she get? Did she ever get to the part where Johnny Depp made her his hand puppet?
Yes.
The bottle incident.
There's a bottle incident. There's a second incident. There's a second incident she describes, and it's like the origin of these fights is like always so weird. Like there's an incident where she describes where she said something in front of his son, like where she said like she said something, and then his son said something to like that sounded like it was defending her, and she looked at him and said thank you, and like that he basically got mad at her, allegedly got mad at her for showing him up from his own kid, and like basically choked her into a closet and started doing digitalis. We'll call it digitalis. Is that
digitalis?
Is that a good word? Digitalis.
I've never heard that one before. I've heard a lot of sexual terms, Joe, and are we talking about using the hands that God provided to you?
Using your digits.
Are we talking the shocker? Are we going with the shocker? Is there two in the pink, one in the stink? What are we talking about here, Joe?
She didn't describe that. That while screaming while screaming, I hate you. In fact, there's pictures of her like this, where he's basically, I want to kill you, like whatever. And
so while she was yelling this, he was doing that.
Who's so tough now? I don't know, like all sorts of crazy, insane, psycho level stuff, which some of it never came out till now. That all of a sudden she's talking about she's making these claims
that nobody has seen, nobody's testified to, is in no police report anywhere.
Look,
like,
if you want proof that there was SA here, the best proof possible, really, is what she has, which is a broken ping pong table. That is proof positive.
Oh my god, a broken ping pong table. So what was she was violated on the ping pong table? Like it was like
I guess I don't know. That was the night he lost his finger, I think. Which she doesn't even she claims You hear her story. She wasn't even in the room when it happened. Like, it's bizarre. It's really, really bizarre.
Yeah, it is. It is the story. Ancient Reaper said the story keeps expanding. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's the fishtail, right? Like you have to constantly make the fish grow bigger, and then all of a sudden, you know,
I
it's,
never
it's
thought of
one
that,
thing
but yes, that's exactly right, brother. She's basically that fish which started off as being like you know, a little minnow is like now Jaws. She's just like
I don't even think she keeps track herself of how big her story is getting. I don't even think she understands that to her in her mind this is probably expanding because it's now like occupying the center of her mind. So it's become this, but it really shows a derangement.
Did you see do you see the picture of her bruises that they put up there today?
No, do you have it? Do you want to show that?
Yeah.
If you want to pull that up, if you want to share that, that's fine. I mean, I was just showing a picture of her not tearing up, but I know that today they said there were tears.
This poor little flower here, you know, who describes herself getting punched over in the face over and
repeatedly
over. No, but the way she says over and over and over and over again. And here's in case I don't know, she must be plastic woman. She's that blonde cheerleader from Hero who heals instantly. But this is what we have here. Where's Not Legal Mindset? Is it this one? Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Look at this thing here. Look at this thing here.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. What is that? Is this like a TikTok? What is this? It looks like she's been crying. She like smudged her makeup. What is that?
That's
her getting punched in the face.
That's her broken nose and
that's not a broken
repeatedly. Her fat. That's also a fat lip that she got from.
First of all, as an actress, she knows. Okay, so she intentionally, as a person who works in the film industry, took a shitty selfie with horrible lighting. No, let's just acknowledge this, right? Like, I'm not an actor, but I know how to take a competent selfie. Okay, like this is ridiculous. Like she can't even get on Good Logic level of lighting. You know, like if Good Logic can figure it out, Amber Heard, who's paid millions of dollars, can figure out how to take a good selfie. So she intentionally takes a bad one. And what is there? There's some black smeared on her nose. What is that? Like she put her eyeshadow down there. Like what is that? Like that's.
Do you know that like when you get a broken nose,
it's not swelling.
Pop blood vessels in both eyes, and it's like you get two black eyes from a broken nose.
Yes,
it's just And
look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. Look at the cornea there. Like there's no blood vessels. There's no nothing like that. Like she's suffered an impact to the face.
But
like,
if you saw the melodrama when she's describing, I don't know, another time we put the knee into the back and like hitting her in the back of the head, and that night she had to go into like the premiere, and she's like, all nights to wear a backless dress, and glance at the jury, like
she was forced to wear a backless dress. What?
I guess that's what she.
Oh my god!
If you look at the pictures from the premiere, her back looks totally fine. There's like there's no nothing, literally nothing.
Okay, I want to find this clip too. I think Viva played it. I think it's a clip where it's at the end of the trial where Amber Heard acts like she's scared of Johnny when he gets close. I think it's like afterwards. I think it was 100% for the jury if they were still in the room.
Okay.
And I don't think they were close at all. But anyways, Johnny Depp put on a leash, put a leash on her, walked her around the room, shoved her face in the grumpy, said bad girl, and took the newspaper to her nose and face. Wow. Wow.
So abusive. So abusive. What's wrong with this guy? You're a psycho, Johnny Depp.
Sorry, I can't even. That's such a ridiculous thing. That's like, oh god. Valiant Renegade, shout out to my boy Valiant. He just did a stream with me earlier. It's 4 hours of streaming.
Valiant, while you're still here, I just want to mention I watched that video.
Yeah.
And I actually tweeted it out. I actually tweeted out sharing it with that people should see you on his show. And I asked him, I was like, all I ever get from him is like, you know, based chick magnet. And Valiant Renegade got the most lawyerly legal mindset I've ever seen. Like the interview he gave, you're sitting there, you're talking about trusts and estates and things and setting up communal property and and I'm like sitting there like, and I'm sitting here like taking notes, like trying, because I don't know this stuff. I was like, Jesus, he's dealt with billions of dollars of bond issuance, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I don't know this.
Joe, my practice areas are very specific, and there's reasons why I don't always talk about them. But this is one, like when I know something, right?
I
And
want
like this is
Valiant on
something
my
that I know
show.
more than anybody else. I'll come on your show. I'll talk about it on your show. We can talk about
I
it
was
here.
like, I was like, I want to get Valiant on my show and learn his interview techniques because I'm like,
what he asked me about something that I know, and he reached out to me, and I said, "Yeah, bro, let's collab." I've gone on his channel, gone on my channel. I love it.
yeah,
I know more about the corruption of Disney than probably anybody, especially in Central Florida.
Right, Valiant. I'll take his herpes from you. Come, send me a DM.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We are herpes free since '93. Okay, we cleared that. We cleared that long ago after the Clinton era. Okay, we're good now.
I'm just saying, hit me up into the DM because I actually started following you after that, but you don't accept incomings. So I was going to send you I don't think you accept.
Listen, Valiant, Joe Nierman is trying to simp for you. Allow it to happen. Attorney Tom allowed it to happen. We all allowed it to happen. Joe is a good man. He seems
very intelligent also. Like I was really impressed. He seemed like this guy really he was understanding things you were talking about. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? Like I usually listen in double speed and I actually couldn't. And that was almost a little annoying, but also somewhat impressive because I was like, if I'm listening to this in double speed, I actually don't know what the hell Andrew's talking about at this point.
He says he's here for it. So he'll get it. But yeah,
DM me, Valiant. All right.
Yes. And as Danielle said, I'll say this in the Ken Watanabe voice. Let the Joe simp from like Godzilla. Let them fight. So yeah, very good stuff. Okay. So getting to the super chat, but honest thing, cried for 8 hours, not a millimeter of mascara run or eyeliner. I mean, that is like proof positive that some of this stuff, some of these evidence, the evidence that she's saying is there. Did you see that video clip where she's like looking at her PR guy when she's like reaching for the tissue covering her face and starting fake crying, and like she like glances over towards the PR guy, and you see a camera flash. It's like a quick glance, and then a camera flash, and then she like looks, and then she like covers up the rest of her face, like to clean her face. But there was basically let me pose here for this second so that everyone can, we can get a nice shot here for the magazine or the article that's gonna be written, and of me crying, where she glances over at them, and this clearly was something that was set up. That like when she reaches for the tissue, this is the sign that you're gonna be like taking a picture of me, and I'll do a quick pose so you can get a good angle of my face as I'm starting to cry. So it was someone caught that, and we were talking about the ability to use that for impeachment in order to show that this whole thing is just theater to her. She's just totally putting on an act here, and even knows I'm going to be crying. I'm going to look at you. I'm going to do this whole handkerchief thing, and then you're going to like basically snap a photo of me, and that they should be able to allow to introduce that little clip and slow it down so you can see how she glances over, and then there's that pop of a flash of a camera to show that this is all theater. It's all 100% theater. Yes. I think they should be allowed to do that. See, that there's times in which slowing down video is justified. And one of them is to show things like that, like camera flashes and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, there's other moments where, for example, in Rittenhouse, other cases where you're using it to infer intent to a millisecond, where I have a problem with it. Right. I have a big problem with it. That's
you can pull it up here. Nick tweeted. I think I might have retweeted. I'm not sure, but Nick tweeted
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me play. So let me play this first one that I've just found on the Viva clip, because I want to show that one. I'll put sound on because Viva makes a little comments but we'll see this. The quality is not amazing because he's probably using Canadian internet. So forgive him, guys. But this is like on a potato cam here. But I'm just gonna play this because I have it. So it's Amber getting down. Johnny's right there.
Oh, whoa! What just happened there?
So, and then she backed up.
I don't know what did happen there.
What just happened there? Hold on. Let me go get that. I'm going to go back and screen grab that. She's looking at right
now. As if Johnny's going to attack her in court. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Oh, whoa! What just happened there?
He probably said something to her is probably what happened, but
my thoughts was when he was watching this is I cannot believe I ever signed off on her for Rum Diary. This is so humiliating. This performance is so humiliating.
You enjoyed her in Rum Diary, is what you're saying.
I didn't know. I'm saying he chose her for Rum Diary. I'm like, he
Well,
must
that's
have been
his fuck
thinking
up.
to himself. He must have been thinking to himself, I can't believe I ever thought you were a decent actress because this is the worst performance I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is so bad.
Set up Cook said, Joe, you are wise. You can't buy that Ask JD. Ask Viva Fro and Brilliant Barnes via Super Chat. Why do lawyers have a bad rap when they are called first?
I don't even know what the heck this
Yeah.
means.
Why do okay, I guess you could answer the question like on why do lawyers have a bad rap? I mean, because there are bad lawyers, right?
Right.
And the problem is that it only takes one bad lawyer to piss people off against lawyers. Like
it's not, you know what? The way the framing happens, if you remember Elaine, when she's cross-examining, Dr.
Mommy or Dr. Karen?
Dr. Mommy. Yeah,
we'll talk about Dr. Karen in a second because I want to get your thoughts on Dr. Karen. But
oh yeah, I got lots of thoughts on her.
Okay.
I've met hundreds of those. So she is your typical New Yorker. Typical New Yorker.
You love it. Okay.
Typical
This is
New
Joe's
Yorker.
subject matter expertise. Like we want to lean in on Joe's subject matter expertise here. We're going to use his angry New Yorker experience. But let's start with what
the reason people hate lawyers is because the whole tone is and the nature of what she's doing there is like trying to just read your things and then try and find reasons as to like how to try to pick it apart in an aggressive, hostile, angry way. And then that's, I think this is one of the reasons the personality of lawyers is like, everyone knows that's not what she's saying, but you're just trying to take this word to like rephrase everything that she's saying. And it's just, you're being a dick. And I think that's where lawyers basically get like a rap that people look at them like, why are you trying to twist truth when you know this is not what she's doing? You're just couching it a certain way and hoping that the jury is going to buy your particular brand of merchandise here. So I think that that's part of the reason, that and the fact that we charge a lot of money for basically doing nothing but talking. So, or what people perceive as nothing but talking. What Camille did today, was that her name, Camille Vasquez?
Yeah,
her objections, especially in the morning, were exceptional. That's such a hard task. Were you watching
attractive
that at all?
and a good objector? I mean, that's it's a win-win for me, baby.
She and Elaine humiliated herself as
well, she's been doing that consistently throughout the trial, though.
No, when I say humiliate, I mean she doesn't understand what an objection is. Like when she asks a question, and it'll be like, she'll be like, so what did you say? What did you say to Isaac at that point? And it's and she'll hear objection hearsay. So she'll go, oh, what if anything did you say to Isaac at that point? And same objection, as if what if anything fixes up hearsay. To explain to your audience, when it's leading question, at least here in the Northeast, if you throw in that what if anything, that will clean it up enough that most judges will let you get away with it. So I can't ask you, did you go to the store? But I can say, when, if ever, did you go to the store? And then those, and that gives enough openness, because a leading question,
if ever, did you ever go to the store?
You could start going off on your own little tangent. When you're on direct, here's the thing: when I'm questioning someone, I put a witness on the stand. That means they're on direct. Okay, so now that when they're on direct, I know you know this, but this is for your audience. So now when they're on direct, their role is to tell their story, and I'm supposed to ask them questions that allow them to elicit their ability to tell a story. It's not supposed to be that the fear is that if I give leading questions, we allow me to ask leading questions, I'll be like, so then the defendant came and stabbed you with a knife. Isn't that true? And it's me testifying, and the person say yes. So we don't want that kind of testimony, because it's not the witness testifying, it's just me testifying and the person saying yes. The question is just taking over the whole testimony. So that's why leading is an improper question when an attorney is giving direct, as opposed to on cross. Now, leading questions are allowed, and in fact, not just allowed, but recommended, because I'm not trying to help them flesh out the story. I'm trying to zero in on this one point here and impeach your testimony and prove that it's not accurate, or that you're lying about something, or it's inconsistent. So in order to do that, I have to say, didn't you admit this? That's a leading question. Didn't you say this? It's always yes or no. Yes or no. Yes or no is leading is a leading question. If they say, was the light green or red, that's also a leading question. You have to pick one, green or red. That is, a leading question. Yes or no. So when you have only two choices, it's leading. So when you fix a leading question, the problem with the leading question is not the testimony, it's the form of the question.
Yes.
so I can fix up. So the testimony that's coming from the person is fine. It's the question. It could be fine. The question I'm asking is improper. So I need to reword my question. How do I reword it? Well, if I say, when, if ever, did you go to the store, instead of did you go to the store is leading, but when, if ever, it means you might say to me, well, I never went to the store, or I went to that store multiple times, or I went there only once, or I went there in the summer. There's all sorts of answers you can give. It's not one or the other. So that makes it a kosher question for me to ask.
Whoa, whoa,
Now,
whoa, 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 whoa. He means a good question, guys. Let me translate this from Hebrew to English. He means a good question, but whether it's halal or whatever, it's still good. All good in my book. We do not discriminate
totally
here.
halal.
It's all
Totally
good.
halal.
It's all good.
Right. It's fish on Fridays. So
yes.
There you go. Am I getting
Very
everyone?
good. Approved for Passover. Approved for Passover. Yes, we got it. We got it.
Yes. As opposed to, so that's a leading. That's when you say objection leading means the question that the lawyer is asking is improperly worded, needs to be changed. When someone says objection hearsay, what they're saying is they're not attacking what the lawyer is asking, the way the lawyer is asking it. They're saying the information that's going to be coming from the witness is impermissible information because she's going to be testifying to the truth of something that was set out of court, and it's impossible to establish the veracity.
It's inadmissible. Yes, the issue is the core issue. Just saying it. It's leading is an issue with the question. Hearsay is an issue with the information you are trying to elicit with the answer. And because it's an answer issue, she doesn't understand that no matter how she frames the question, it's not going to change the fact that the answer is still a bad answer. And that's
still
like
a bad question. It's not a fair question.
Guys, this is lawyer 101. This is not like, it does not, a first year law student shit. People who aren't even in law school know this because I was doing mock trial in high school. I knew that in high school. Like, if you even know anything about the law at all, you understand hearsay is the content of the answer. So yeah, this is just like
can't fix that by saying what if anything did Baruch say to you? No, it's still hearsay. You can word that any way you want.
Yeah, the issue is to ask Baruch. Ask Baruch.
Yeah.
Ask Baruch. If you want to know, ask Baruch. Yeah.
So the point is, that she doesn't even understand what the hell an objection is. That she's trying to fix it means, do you understand the objection? Like, you're a lawyer, you're a freaking litigator, you're one of the top litigators in your region, and you don't know you don't understand what an objection is. That doesn't get fixed that way. So yeah, she was humiliating all lawyers of her region. I'm telling you right now, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was sitting there laughing. It was
hilarious. Yeah. I mean, that sort of behavior just shows how these lawyers are no bueno. I mean,
incompetent.
I mean, and it doesn't help that their side has a poor case and they're trying to make a point here. But yeah, Max says, watch Jesus and Enrique Rosas body language guy for day one. Yeah, I saw his videos. He got like 7-minute reaction, 7-minute videos or so on her body language and pretty much, saying.
I can be right back. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Let me. Yeah. I'll go through this, but I'll let me show you guys this video of his here. Like, he's got his videos over here where he's reacting to her testimonies. This is pretty cool stuff, Max. So yeah, I like the body language. And if you look at we won't watch it here, just to review it though. He's got, his little chapters where he looks at the emotions, the lack of details being suspicious, the mask slipping, how she's manipulating the jury, lack of emotion, rapid blinking, exposing herself with her body language, not showing up any tears. And he's probably saying it's an attorney's job to bring this out, to point this out. So yeah, good stuff. Good little video there. So thanks, Max. Of course, shout out to Max. I love Max. He's an amazing guy. Got this one already here. Let me get this next one, which is, again, shut up, I can cook. Adam, stop simping. What? Simping for who? Simping for who? Joe, seriously, people admire lawyers when I was growing up in recent times. Who can help you out but a lawyer? Is it jealousy? A doc can't you get out of jail? Yeah, no, I mean, look, back in the day, lawyers were admired. It's not jealousy. That's also, you got to understand, it's easier to become a lawyer now. There are so many law schools. There are so many law schools, and they're for profit, and they're churning out shit lawyers. I mean, we have a generation, my generation specifically, not people in ancient Joe's generation, because they actually had some standards back then. But I mean, they let Joe through, so they had like kind of low standards, but they had standards. Nowadays, pretty much, if you have a brain cell and you can apply for federal loans, they will let you into a law school. It doesn't matter what score you get on the LSAT. You can literally get a 140 by writing your name on the paper and just bubbling it randomly. You're going to get a 140. They will let you into, I'm not going to name any names specifically, but there's for-profit schools, some of which have even been investigated and some of which have even lost their accreditation because they've gotten such terrible bar results, because they're just letting anybody become a lawyer. So becoming a lawyer is not what it is back in the day. It's not at all. By the way, Valiant DM'd you, Joe. So your simping worked. Good job. Max says, number one future career option for Amber Heard, Dubai porta potty. Oh man. I don't know if you know about that, the Dubai porta potties, Joe, but that is a whole separate thing. Speaking of which, I'll probably go to Dubai in the next couple of months, which should be interesting. Vita says, Tebow, who's paying for Miss Turd's defense team? Well, I guess Miss Turd, right?
Probably.
I mean, Amber's got to be paying for it, right? I mean, Elon's not paying for it.
You never know.
You think so? You think Elon would still be paying for it, even though he's married to another woman?
Depends how much of a cup he is, and I think like the other woman's gonna know, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. He'd just be simping on the side, right? Damn, that'd be weird. Eric, what's up? What's up? Good to see you, Eric, in the chat. Fire emojis. Good to see you, brother. Yeah. So some crazy stuff. Joe, what was the craziest part of the testimony for you from Amber so far? Before we get into the psychologist, I want to go for Amber first.
For me, it was the way she's constantly talking about getting hit over and over and over again. In other words, and the injuries she's sustaining don't seem consistent with that. We've seen this multiple times where she's basically talked about how she got slapped across the face and blood spattering on the wall like she's living in Dexterland. And she got blood spatters there. And you want to know the proof? Here's a picture of her arm. What? Why are we seeing a picture of your arm when he's like smacking you in the face that she allegedly sent to her dead mother? Why would you be sending her a picture of your arm? Either you're trying to hide it from her, in which case you don't want her to know about the abuse, you're embarrassed about it, whatever. You don't want her to think badly of Johnny. You're protecting him, or you're ashamed of it, in which case you wouldn't show anything, or you're trying to get sympathy. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to hide it, you wouldn't show anything. If you're trying to show sympathy, if you're trying to get sympathy, you wouldn't show the secondary injury. You would show that your whole face is wrapped up. She got hit by these rings, smacked across the face.
Yep.
You would be showing that. Which
the injury.
You don't have any, the real injury, which is like a punch in the face is much worse than someone who grabbed your arm and like squeezed it. It's 100 times worse because that shows like, a real hatred for the person as opposed to I lost my temper a little bit, but like I'm not going to punch you in the face. Can you imagine how much more upset you'd be if I grab you? Think about this: someone grabs your arm really tightly in an aggressive way versus rearing back and punching you in the face. That happens. Getting punched in the face to most people doesn't happen more than a couple.
Joe, here's the thing. I'm going to say something real quick. This is my controversial take. I think a lot of people could stand to be punched in the face because, I mean, frankly, I think people think about what it is like, especially people like Amber who've like never actually happened. That minimizes the pain of being punched in the face. Yes. It is not a pleasant experience. Like, it is not good. And anybody who thinks they want to get in a fight, I'm like, you clearly haven't been punched in the face before. Like, it is not a pleasant experience. Getting a broken nose, not a pleasant experience.
And by the way, most people, they get punched in the face, they go down. Especially a woman getting hit by a man, punch in the face.
Is going to go down. Like, you're going down. 100%. 100%.
Standing there after you're punched in the face.
The gender ambiguity goes away when a man punches a woman in the face. It's like you're clearly going to see the impact difference of that. Like,
the person will end up on the floor. Literally, they'll fall on the floor as opposed to still standing there after they get punched in the face. That's just what happens. It's not like in the movies where it's like back and forth fights and
right. Like it's Jason Statham or like The Rock or something like that. Like punching people in the face repeatedly and you just bounce right back. You're like jerking right back.
Exactly. Especially not expecting it. Especially not expecting it. You go right down on the floor. That's what happens.
Yeah. No matter how tough you are. You don't shrug that off.
Not Amber. So, and all these different things where she's talking about getting punched over and over and over again. She talked about how he punched in the back of the head over and over and over again until she was knocked unconscious and her hair came out. How does your hair come out when you get punched in the back of the head? Why does that make sense? Why do you have black eyes and a fat lip when you're getting punched in the back of the head? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But that's what she's claiming. It's bizarre. A lot of stuff
doesn't make sense.
It's really bizarre.
JK says this, and this is almost improper for me to read, but saying proper to ask how Deep Savage search was full fist. I'm like, I'm like, it's on cross. Like these lies are gonna get bad. By the way, Nina, shout out to Nina. She said the bottle grape, and I'm like, yes, I have that clip pulled up. I almost want to play it for those that may have missed it because it's so incredulous. But it is like 12, 14 minutes total. So I don't know if we want to like play the whole thing, but maybe a little bit. What do you think, Joe?
I'm cool with it.
You're cool with it? All right, let me play through the story because I want for those who haven't seen this, like this is definitely like the money shot in terms of no pun intended.
This is
there.
where she's really crying, also.
Yeah, and let me catch you super chat so to make sure we're caught up.
And I do think she managed to squeeze out some real tears. Like she was able to look more like Rittenhouse when he was crying. I think she was channeling that.
Yeah, I definitely think she was. So I'll play the clip once I clear these super chats. So Saran saying, hi, Andrew and Joe. Joe, what are you eating?
Pizza.
Pizza. What flavor pizza? Is it just cheese or pepperoni?
Regular cheese. We don't
regular cheese. He is a purist. He is against all other toppings on pizza. You heard it from Joe Nierman. Adam, you did not answer my question about after 3 super chats. Nick, drunk at 2 a.m. can answer. Why do lawyers have? I told you, bro. Lawyers have a bad rap because there are bad lawyers.
Yeah,
I said that.
Yeah.
I mean, you want me to say it again? They're bad lawyers.
Answer.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's the answer. There are bad lawyers. They exist. They go to bad law schools. Some of them are just unethical, but that's why lawyers get a bad rap because people have had bad lawyers. That's the only, I mean, just because it's happened doesn't mean every lawyer is bad, but are there bad lawyers? Yes. In fact, I don't even like a lot of other lawyers. I really only associate with a couple lawyers. Like I like Joe, I like the people on LawTube, but frankly, these guys are all weirdos. These guys are all not normal lawyers because most lawyers aren't on YouTube. Yeah. So once again, they're the exception, not the rule. And unlike the deranged people on the left, I don't use the exception to prove the rule.
Right.
That's insanity. I don't say, hey, because there's good people and I know them, that means all lawyers are good. No, I can say most lawyers are probably pretty shady and ethically questionable, but I know some who aren't. That doesn't mean that that's a rule, but hey, people assume they're that way because some of them are that way, straight up, and they will take your money. And I've had friends literally who are apprehensive, or people like clients who I work with, and they're apprehensive of giving a retainer to a lawyer because they've been screwed over by a lawyer in the past. And I see it. Speaking of
cool lawyers, are you okay with me giving you a surprise guest who asked me that he wants to pop on here?
If you tell me in the private chat who it is, you got to tell me in the private chat who it is.
All right. You don't trust me?
You can't. No, I do not. Let me be very clear, guys. I do not trust Joe Nierman. But
so offensive.
Very, very much do not trust him. Okay. Oh, that's definitely okay. Yeah. I'm going to be outnumbered in terms of my Gentileness, but it's okay. It's okay. Let me get the super chat. LM, Johnny is right-handed. All of her pics show injuries on her right side. While sometimes she says he was kneeling on my back, many times she says she is on her back. Yeah, these inconsistencies have to come out on cross. Like, I hope they're making a list on this.
Well, they damn well better be. If not, they should be fired right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they should be if they're not. I mean, hopefully Carmen is, I think. Or while Carmen is doing the objections, someone else should be writing
hopefully she has a paralegal who's doing it for her.
They've got 4 people, right? Because they've got the front bench and they've got the back bench, right? So I think there's 2 attorneys on the back bench.
The blonde chick in the back doesn't look like she's much good at asking people questions, so she's probably the best choice.
She needs to be a transcriptionist. That's it. That's all you need to do.
Well, she looks like a court reporter also, so.
Muffins and Megan Pine said, can Depp jury watch Rum Diary on the break? That's good. That's really, really good. Incorrect. Lawyers have a bad rap because you are mercenary. You will adamantly defend whatever side pays you. Also, DUI guy. Well, I don't know about DUI guy, but we will defend people if they pay us because that's our job and that's our ethical duty. And guess what? Literally everybody deserves a fair defense. You deserve a shot at a defense. Okay, so yeah, even guilty people deserve a defense. I believe in that. I'll stand by that. I think that's a code of ethics. I don't think that's something that's unethical. You can call that mercenary, but that is what it is, guys. So yeah, I'll agree to that, though. I think you are right that lawyers are, to an extent, mercenaries because we do go with people if they will pay us. Yes. Sword and Scale says, ask Joe about the theory of relativity. LOL.
Sword and Scale gave me a very nice super chat.
Hold on. Let me go in on Sword and Scale. Sword and Scale has been 100% a troll. He's been trying to generate sexual tension on Nick's streams and, coming in about relativity. He just likes to see the world burn.
I don't even know.
He really does.
I didn't even think he ever heard of my channel until all of a sudden during the lunch break when I was doing Lawception.
Yeah.
He sent me a super chat that I read. I read my super chat on Nick's channel.
And to think, I used to listen to Eating, the Eating of People, the Donner Party one by Soren Scott. I listened to your podcast on that. That was a long time ago. That was good. That was good. Why can she tell the story about Depp threatening to break her friend's wrist when her team hasn't brought up the person she said he threatened? Hold on. Why can't she tell the story about Depp threatening to break her friend's wrist when the team hasn't brought up the person she says he threatened? Well, if it was okay, so I'm thinking here, Joe, about this particular scenario. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if she was talking about Depp, that's like party opponent. So there might have been a party opponent exception here. But if there's a friend involved, if the story about Depp and a friend, she can tell the story, but she can't say what the friend was going to say. So I don't know.
Well, the way it works is this, and the reason it gets a little complicated.
No, I just missed this part of the trial, so I'm not sure what this is.
I think it's really why aren't they mentioning the friend's name is what she's asking, and that's a good question. They should be bringing that person up there. That is the best witness for Amber Heard. Is that person right there?
Okay. Sword Scale says, I'm not the hero I deserve. I'm the hero you need right now. No. Guys, the hero I need, the hero I've always wanted is right my boy, Ron Coleman.
Indeed.
What's going on, Ron?
Welcome, my brother.
I'm the master of intros. I'm the master of intros, Ron. I will always give you a strong intro.
He's phenomenal. You're muted.
You're muted, Mike. You're muted, Ron. You're muted, Ron. Get your mic. But nope. Still nothing. So let's see if Ron Coleman's beatboxing.
He's such a great singer. You don't even know what you're missing. You don't even know what you're missing.
There we go.
Hey.
What's going on, Ron?
All right, man. I had a deposition, an expert deposition. I was going to go 7 hours max. We're going to max out on the federal rules today. Big deposition.
Yeah.
I was gonna moidalize this lady, okay? Because I have this outline prepared, up all night. Clients crawling all over me. Get to the deposition. It's all virtual. Exhibit share's not working. Video's not available. And the court reporter says, they told me they only needed me for 4 hours. We rescheduled it for Monday. So I'm thinking, great, because I have all these other deliverables that I have been putting off because of this deposition. I'm going to spend the rest of the day catching. I've been so wired all day from that from litigatus interruptus.
Yes, litigatus interruptus.
Right.
That I cannot get anything else done. So after spending an hour that I don't have with Natalie Burrell. Okay,
did you really spend an hour on her channel?
An hour?
Just popping, maybe it was 45 minutes. I'm sure it felt much longer to her audience. Mm-hmm. I just said, okay, let me get back to my amended complaint that I've been working on for 3 weeks. And then I'll put on some, because I have ADHD, I need to have something going in the background in order to focus on my work. So I'll put on something from YouTube about an airplane crash, like I like to watch. And
I watch those videos too. I watch the black box. Yeah, I hear the black box recordings. I like them.
I spent 7 hours streaming an airplane crash today. That was
instead. I and then I see you guys are here. I can't miss out on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
It's Mishmar night, Ron. Joe.
There you go. Thursday nights are typically Mishmar nights. That's true.
Yes.
And by the way, it's not a matter of 2 to 1. You're being. If it were just you and me, I suck out all the Gentile energy in the room.
No. I've seen him do it. He's like a Gentile sucking vacuum. He's like a vacuum of Gentiles.
That's why they don't invite me to the Federalist Society anymore.
I know.
Shots fired at the Federalist Society.
He was there once. They had like this shellfish there, and they had to clear it all out. They
didn't have to. It flew out the window.
It's like It was like he was like X-Men. He was like X-Men. It was just
the pork just exploded and like what dematerialized.
yeah, it's just like that was vaporized. Yeah, you
was
can't even
vaporized.
please.
All right,
They
guys,
lost
I'm sorry.
they lost their bacon garnish.
Is that a thing,
I
really?
apologize.
Bacon garnish?
Okay, so we're making fun. We're making fun, right? We're making.
Yeah, we're going in on Nick. By the way, Valiant challenge accepted. Check your Twitter, so he's got that on you there. Yeah, we're making fun of it. We're going into Ron. We're just going into the case and going into what's the accusations of Amber Heard. And I've caught part of them, and Joe's caught part of them. We're gonna also watch some video on the grape at some point. The bottle incident, which is the infamous bottle incident here.
Yeah, but it's an amazing miracle how she just walked away from that, and is here with us today.
Yes, just walked away with no
injury. With us 5 minutes later.
Got up and made coffee.
Yeah.
Got up with her bare feet, walked across
the glass.
Walked
across glass with no injuries.
With like better than John McClane from Die Hard. That didn't affect her feet. She was totally fine walking across there and getting coffee delivered.
It's like it's like I was telling Natalie. It's like when Robin Givens talked about being beaten up by Mike Tyson. Yeah, right. Mike Tyson beat you up, sure.
By the way, for Ron, hold on, let me put this out there, Joe. For Ron, Quick says, Ron, when are you going to start making content? I really appreciate your takes. You rock for your impression. I'm like, Ron makes content and making decisions and getting court cases decided. That's what Ron is doing. Like Ron is like actually winning.
Ron Coleman lawyer, for Christ's sake.
No, seriously.
Oh my God.
The most underappreciated man in Hollywood.
He really is.
Yeah.
He really is. The first time when I joined social media, okay, this guy was sitting behind me in shul and synagogue for like, I don't know, 3 years. And literally
sitting behind you in synagogue.
He literally lives 3 blocks from me. Right now, we're less than 3 blocks from each other. Okay.
When his wife used to yell at him to go and do his streams in the car, I heard the yelling.
Yeah, it's true. No, he was like, dude, roll up your windows at least. When I joined social media, which started when COVID lockdowns happened, and they have recommended people, and this is scary, by the way, how social media would think that I know Ron Coleman when I didn't know his phone number, not anywhere in my contacts, and they're telling me some guy from my synagogue who all I ever said to him was "Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos." I don't think we ever had a conversation. Maybe once you were telling me about your Supreme Court.
We exchanged business cards. And you were doing debt executions. Judgment, right? So, and I said, that's a guy, and I should keep him in mind. And then I never remembered your name.
Right. I wasn't even sure it was him. I was like, I think his name's Ron. That's how little and then I see, because on social media I was like, hold a second. This dude has 120,000 followers on Twitter. Who is he? Because like in my synagogue, I would think seriously, like there's maybe 10% are actually on Twitter.
That was then.
We think there's a lot more on Twitter now?
Yeah. Are you kidding? Everyone comes up to me and they want my hot takes on Shabbos.
That's great.
I can't live. A person can't live in this place.
That's great.
Well, it's actually funny. You know what's funny though? You know what's funny though, Joe? Actually, one of the reasons why I had a fan meet me in Seoul, they reached out to me like, "Oh, I'm in Seoul," and I asked them like, "How did you find out about my channel?" They're like, "Well, I saw that you were on Eric Hunley, and then Ron Coleman happened to be on, and I liked Ron, so I was watching that time, and I saw you, and I was like, all right, well, he's not Ron, but you're pretty good." And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So Ron's the link, man. Ron is the link.
And that's how Joe and I have established our fortunes for many generations of families that we're going to be supporting with social media gelt.
He doesn't realize. Yeah, but you guys don't even realize that the implications of that is like there's an obligation of one of my descendants to marry one of his descendants sometime within the next 2 generations.
It's implied.
It's an implied onus.
It's also kind of difficult to avoid.
Yeah, that's true. Ain't that a truth?
All right. Let's make fun. Let's make fun of people who are going through.
Oh, sorry. So asking if. Okay, all right. I'm gonna keep going on that one.
I missed that one.
Andrew, can you ask the panel if the panel has seen any of the eye-opening lectures by the late Dr. Tony Martin on slavery? They're on YouTube. I haven't heard of them, but Joe, you've listened to some weird stuff. I mean, I've never heard of this. Have you heard of Tony Martin?
Were you searching my search history here? How do you know what I listen to? No, I never heard that Tony Martin.
Yeah.
Although I am famous for saying
thanks,
2 days
Max.
ago.
Literally, Max, thank you for literally super chatting to promote Ron. Yes. YouTube.com/C/Ron Coleman-lawyer. Ron Coleman-lawyer. Phenomenal.
He is phenomenal. And like seriously, way deeper than like the rest of us. He's like the adult in the room.
That's why I have 46 subscribers.
Guys, right now.
Way,
No, stop
really
what
true.
you're doing.
That is why.
Stop what you're doing right now. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, then run over to Euron and subscribe to him immediately. Immediately. If you don't, you are breaded. You are Jack Murphy and John Roberts all rolled up into one, guys. Do it right now.
I forgot. You have a Jack
right
Murphy hang up. Yeah, you have
Yes.
a Jack Murphy problem. Okay.
Yes, I do. That's me.
All
I'm
right,
still
all
there.
right.
We're going to be grifting on that for the next 10 years, Ron.
Yeah.
Nicole says, Amber Heard reminds you of the kid in school that would bite themselves when no one is looking and then tells the world you bit them and now you have to prove you did it.
So my point though, Michelle,
Oh my God.
not Michelle.
Yeah, Nicole.
Natalie. No, she does criminal law. So talking about
She's also fairly left compared to the rest of
yeah. And we had to kind of find a comfort zone for ourselves there. But here the thing is, she doesn't like women who fake being abused.
Yes.
Because it ruins it for the women who are being abused.
By the way, Ron, that's a left and right consensus point.
Yeah. Well,
that's a consensus point.
But you have to it's always going to be a question of what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that she recognizes that Amber Heard is full of hot garbage and is turning on her.
Does she?
I don't
know her.
She doesn't. She has a lot of experience with battering type cases.
Okay.
As well as injury related cases because of her former work doing employment. Disability. And she pointed out a number of sort of ticks that you see in testimony when people are trying to frame things to anticipate your obvious grounds for not believing them. So, in other words, after he beat the hell out of me and jumped on my back and pounded me with razors, I had a premiere. And I went to with a backless dress, and I just couldn't. I kept looking at myself, saying, "I hope my injuries don't show in the backless dress," which is her way of trying to telegraph. You're probably wondering why my back looks flawless in the backless dress.
Right.
Well, believe me, I'm as surprised as you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. Like that. That's. I mean, you can see it too. It's the story is expanded. It's the fish that's now the Jonah's whale right at this point, right? It's out of control. I mean,
so the question I wanted to ask, and I'm sure everyone involved in civil work is asking this question: why are the lawyers doing this? Why are they letting her go on with this? And and the consensus seems to be, they can't really climb down at this point. They can't climb down. There's nowhere for them to go. Every civil case, and to a different extent, a criminal case, but really every civil case is a chicken game. And the question is always, when are you going to get off? Who's going to blink first? Who's going to swerve off the road?
Yep.
And here you had, this is the kind of sleazy joint reputation, mutual assured destruction case that good lawyers on both sides tell their clients not to prosecute.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm her lawyer, first of all, I would never be her lawyer in a million years, by which I mean I would not be these lawyers, because if I were her lawyer, this trial would look a lot different from how it's been looking.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnny Depp's lawyers, I'm sure, have the question you have to ask yourself, and you have to ask the client, I'm sure they have these conversations: what is your goal? She doesn't have deep pockets. So whatever number we are able to convince a jury, in theory, if we win this case, we win the uphill battle of winning a defamation case.
With a deck
And
stacked against you, because the deck
Yeah.
is stacked deep against you. In
deep against you,
defamation.
but we get an award of $20 million. She got no $20 million. She spent the 7 you gave her.
Yeah.
That's gone. And what's not gone is there's a lien on it from the law firm. So it's not going to be money. So people say, well, he wanted to vindicate. A lot of stuff was coming out about him, made him look really bad. He wanted to vindicate himself. We have a word. We're going to have to do it again to you, Joe.
Uh-oh.
You
There's
two
a word?
Bashmutzt. They have bashmutzt each other. They have bashmutzt. They have so splattered each other with mud.
I'll translate. What he's
Is
saying
that besmirched?
No, what he's saying really is
yeah.
that both of their reputations have been geschmetted. Okay.
So you give me you give me something that I'm like, all right, I got like this a little bit, inferring, and then whatever, and like my passable German, and then you throw in something. I'm like, all right, you layer it on top.
So schmutz. They have schmutz in German.
That word works. Yeah, you can use that word.
Dirt.
No, I'm saying that's a German word, right?
Yeah, schmutz. Yeah.
So it'd be probably like verschmutzt.
Yeah.
Made filthy.
Made dirty. Yeah.
Dirtified. They dirtified each other. I mean, they both lose. So there's a marginal increment of his vindicating, demonstrating that, yeah, you heard some bad stuff about me, and I maybe everything I did wasn't so great, but look at this nightmare that I was living with. All right, but meanwhile, we're learning what a drunk you are, and what a what a toxic environment. Joe.
Totally disagree, Ron. Totally disagree.
Yeah, it's
Well, you think it was a good, loving environment? What do you think?
You've
Joe?
watched much more of this than I have, so I want to hear.
I'll tell you what it is. Okay, you have to understand. Put yourself in his shoes. Okay, let's put ourselves
Johnny
in
Depp's shoes.
We'll put him in each of their shoes. Okay.
Okay.
So she basically, if you heard her describe the relationship, her whole fixation was how everything was a whirlwind, and she lights up thinking back to that time when they first met and how they had to sneak off in secret, and how she describes, basically, she sounds like a teenager talking about the best infatuation of her life.
Like
And
a
she
crush.
also, yeah, exactly, where everything is
okay.
so fresh and exciting, and we can't keep our hands off of each other, and it's secret because we have our relationship. And she and how there's they're driving around in convertibles and all the money. She's coming from nowhere. She's a nobody actress, and basically she describes someone. She never talks about how brilliant, clever, funny, articulate, caring, charming, handsome he is. Never talking about Johnny. Constantly talking about how much the relationship was so amazing because she was in love. And it comes across like she was very much in love with the role of being Johnny Depp's girlfriend / later wife. Like that role, which all the other women in the world were at that time. You have to realize, he's hot in the middle of his, everyone being crazy in love with him after Pirates, and she now is stepping into the role that every little girl in the world wishes that they had, and that's her. So she's living the princess dream now, and that's why I think she's clawing at him when he's running away and saying, "You can't come away from me." No, there's abandonment and all these other issues because she doesn't want to lose that role. She loves that role far more than she loves him, which is why when she's talking about her relationship and trying to even paint it as something so beautiful, she talks about, I can't believe I love this human. She doesn't even say Johnny. She doesn't even use the word Johnny in her description because it's all about her, how this relationship makes her feel about herself. Now when it's crushed, when it's dashed to pieces, because he's like, I'm done with this psycho bitch, so I'm done with her. So now she basically says to herself, okay, you know what? I'm gonna remain this queen by taking on this new role. I'm starring in my new role as queen of the Me Too movement. And all of a sudden, all the relationship, everything like that, and I'm punish him by basically implying, without really saying, because if he didn't really do this stuff. So we have a concept in Talmud, which is like sort of modeb and mixas, that if someone gives a partial admission, that we make them give an oath. But as opposed to someone who has a complete admission, there's a whole different set of laws. Someone who makes complete admission versus someone who makes a partial admission. And it's because it understands the psyche of a human being. It's much easier to make a partial lie than to flat out say something that comes from nowhere, at least when you're first starting to lie about something. So that being the case, we look at that as being really, if I admit that part of this money is yours, in that case, that's very different than me saying, no, this whole money is mine and none of it is yours. So when she's coming out there, just implying that there's DV, and not saying, look, He stuck his bottle here, and he grabbed my throat there, and he punched me in the back of the head 16 times. She had to build up to that and sort of say, okay, this is the person in the position I'm taking. Instead, she gives this veiled innuendo so that she can ascend to the throne of the Me Too movement, which is what she really did. She even becomes this ambassador of the ACLU because, why? Because she's the battered woman who gives them tons of money.
How are you in any way responding? In other words, you're saying, Ron, you're wrong. Everything you're saying is 100% right. But I'm saying, no, but I'm saying
you're demurring.
I'm just asking. Nonetheless, so much trash has come out. Okay, so you're saying she loses in the battle of who comes across as a worse behaved adult. It far and away, she's the loser here. Not only that, she had so much more to lose, and so much less to gain.
Why? I think she had everything to gain. She had everything to gain. She wants.
That's where I'm at, because I think
that's what I'm saying.
She became irrelevant. Yeah,
she would have been irrelevant.
No. I'm saying,
everyone said, "We love you. You're a poor battered woman." So that's what she wants. That's why she's doing this, and she finds herself sued by Johnny Depp for it.
So you're saying doing this? You're talking about the op-ed.
The op-ed and all the speaking engagements.
The op-ed improves her because Me Too was trending. Everybody wanted to support Me Too.
And plus, she's the defendant. She can't settle the case unless the plaintiff wants to settle the case.
Right. Now,
and that would require her. So the only way she can settle this case, because she doesn't have money, would be to enter into a stipulation. And
and she apologizes.
She apologizes, and then she would have to admit to all kinds of perjury. And
lose all her standing. Instead, maybe.
But now. Let's go to Johnny.
Okay. So coming to Johnny.
And by the way, here's where I'm kind of agreeing with Ron on this, is that I don't think Johnny comes out of this looking crystal clean, right? I mean, I don't think Johnny comes out of this like unbesmirched. I do think he looks better than being accused of domestic violence and sexual violence, but I think doesn't come out of this looking like he's crystal clear. I think it's still going to be difficult for him to find certain jobs going forward. But I mean that.
But if you're Johnny, you think to yourself, I was king of the world. I was one of the most popular people on the planet because of Pirates of the Caribbean, everything like that, until she started saying these outright complete falsities. So she's basically using my reputation to stab me in the back, shove me down, and then stand above me as this poor martyred victim to get all the accolades of the world, to supplant me, where people will basically appreciate her because she's a victim of Johnny Depp. So she's basically completely destroying my whole reputation. I spent my whole life 40 years building up this reputation, and she's stealing that from me by taking this role as being queen of the Me Too movement. And that deserves retribution, and it deserves the world getting an accounting as far as knowing how each and every element of this is a lie. And yes, they're going to find out some more dirt about me, but everyone knows that celebrities drink and do drugs. Everyone knows about that.
That's true.
That's not nearly as shameful.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
That's
seeing
a
drugs
joke.
for celebrities.
That's an assumption. We all would have assumed. I'll tell you this much: if it came out that he was bisexual, I wouldn't have been surprised. I'd be like, you know what? He's a celebrity. They do stupid. You think of him as being like a classic rock star. I'd be shocked if he never did drugs. I would assume that he's doing drugs at his own wedding. So that's not anything shameful in his circle. What is shameful is the idea that he's someone who literally beats women. So he doesn't feel like he's being besmirched here. He wants to clear his name and take her off of her high horse and her mantle that she stole from him by pissing on his reputation and rose up above him. So that's what he's getting out of this. He wants to take her off of that horse, let the whole world see her for who she is as being a liar, and expose that so that he gets some retribution, never full retribution, but some retribution some satisfaction that she's no longer standing on him to ascend to the role of being queen of the Me Too movement.
You're right. You're right, Joe. But I don't know if it's worth going through a month of civil litigation.
It wouldn't be worth it to you because you have a man of integrity and values. So to you, it's not worth it because you're. And
apparently, he's also Nico's favorite Jew of LawTube. Yeah, so shout out to Nico here.
Sorry about that, Joe.
I'm everyone's fourth favorite Jew of LawTube. So that's as long as the top 5. I think I'm good. Everyone knows it's basically Ron and then Viva and then Nate and then me. So there you go.
I feel like I should get honorary status at this point. Like, can I get like honorary like Boy Scout member? You know,
okay.
Can I get like a discount at the club?
You're going to get calls from yeshivas to take out advertisements.
There you go.
In dinner journals.
You don't want it. You don't want it. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I like what KT said. It is crazy that she said that JD wrapped up raw steak in her nightgown and put it. Okay. Do you guys want to watch this little clip of testimony? It's like 10 minutes. You guys, Ron, do you have 10 minutes? Okay. Ron,
I'm just basically I'm just rolling.
You're an important man. You know, people are out here going crazy for the Coleman. I mean, I just got to make sure that, you know, we can get the full. All right, let's watch the raw steak bit because this part is great. Guys, this is just a little clip. You know, gonna fair use this stuff.
Yeah,
right
JK, I got it.
With paint, but it was this ugly navy blue brown paint. I packed what was packable, what hadn't been destroyed, and eventually left Australia with Ben King, who you met on the way there.
Let me stop you there because I want to ask you some more questions about those 3 days, and then we can talk about Ben King and going home. So, do you recall what bottle Mr. Depp was drinking from, and then
So here's the bottle.
had that back and forth with you, and you threw on the ground?
Oh, I forgot to mention to you.
Actually,
also-
Yeah.
compound.
Go ahead, Joe.
She actually claimed that he threw multiple bottles at her.
Multiple?
Yeah, and cans. Bottles and cans. And he must have the worst pitching arm in the world because he never hit her. He never seemed to hit her with any.
Yeah, one of the things that Natalie loved was that another example of this thing that I described before, where she says he was like beating me up and it was like really sloppy. And I said, "What? He's critiquing his wife beating technique." And she said, the reason he's doing that is because you might wonder how come none of his blows landed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ridiculous.
So he's throwing multiple. I was literally picturing like the knife thrower's assistant on the wheel spinning, and none of them are hitting her. He's just throwing bottle after bottle, and she's like the pretty assistant on the wheel, just spinning around, and it's going between her legs, over her shoulder, and he's just like making this like one line after another, throwing these bottles there, and nothing lands. It was hysterical. It was really
crazy,
good.
really crazy.
Oh,
let's top this.
Leading.
Sustained.
Do you recall what the bottle was?
No, I don't.
Do you recall whether it was wine or liquor?
It was liquor. The wine was upstairs.
Do you recall what color
Excuse me.
it was?
Well, I believe it was white, clear, but I can't be certain. I think it was clear.
Do you remember whether it had a handle on it or not?
No, it was a normal bottle. I remember because he was holding it like this and gestured to me to take it. And I did try to reach for the bottle. It was a normal size, but for the life of me, I can't remember like what brand.
Okay. When you woke up that third morning and came out of your room, what, if any, food did you see?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Talk about a leading question.
Leading.
There you go, leading. Yeah.
There was
What did you say?
potatoes,
Narrow question.
What happened? Oh, yeah. It was not a great one.
bedroom door, on the wall, and various places. But I remember opening the door and being really confused at first as to what it was. It had little like specks of green in it, I assumed to be spinach. And throughout the house, there was food rubbed in places, just countertops, walls, doors, as I mentioned. And later that evening, I found the raw meat that I had left out, the steak, all over the house. There were pieces of it. It was cut up. And he had ripped my nightgown into pieces, into shreds, and wrapped the meat up, like wrapped the steak pieces up with my nightgown. It was this really beautiful burgundy silk nightgown that
so
had
bizarre.
this black lace trim.
So
I
bizarre.
ironically got it from Dr. Kipper for a wedding gift. And it was I found it, I continued to find it throughout the rest of the time that I was in the house in Australia. There's pieces of it in the microwave, pieces of it in the produce drawer, in the closet drawer. I mean, just raw meat wrapped up in my nightgown, as well as the smeared food on the walls.
So what do you guys think about that part before we go on here? I mean,
what woman doesn't like that?
You had a problem with that?
A man tries to be romantic a little, put a little spark back into the relationship. And what do you got?
Is his audio working for you? Because I'm getting static.
Oh, Ron, yeah, Ron's coming a little jumpy. A little jumpy.
Like
Yeah. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Let me stop sharing.
No,
See that cleared up? Go ahead, Ron. Say something.
No,
that's good. Yeah.
No, please stop.
It might be the video. Like maybe it slows Ron down. Let me catch some super chats since we got the raw meat bit out there. Someone brought up that trial, the McGinnis trial. I don't know if you want to comment on that, but J.K. Wynn said a lawyer from Missouri said it was horrible and it was written like a child with autocorrect. Did you want to comment on that at all, Ron?
Yeah, that's a joke between me and Nick. I first heard of Nick when he went online to take apart my lawsuit on behalf of Gavin McGinnis, and he was cutting
Ron
up
the worst lawyer on the planet.
He called you the worst lawyer on the planet?
That I would. Yeah. I didn't watch it. I heard about it, and
it's good stuff.
Joe then introduced us, and we became friendly. And he acknowledged that he basically is, he takes the shots where he can get them,
And he ripped apart Ron's lawsuit for 2 streams. It took him
2 streams. He double streamed you.
He couldn't get through it in 3 hours. It took him 6 hours.
Streams. I got that. I like that.
Wow, that is a rough treatment there by Ricada.
Up on Ron.
It was so bad. This complaint was so bad that now 3 years after the motion to dismiss by the Southern Poverty Law Center has been fully submitted in the Middle District of Alabama, there's still no decision on it. So it was obviously a really obvious piece of garbage.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. False. Yes, everyone already knew.
Paul, you just paid $5 to repeat what Joe just said.
Yeah. It's good though. Everyone knew Johnny drank and did drugs. Yeah, I've said this multiple times too. Is that in Hollywood this is normal shit. In LA this is normal, right? I'm from Miami. The same thing's normal. Like large amount of drugs are happening on a regular basis. Yeah. Q Revere says, "Have you ever seen a witness do coke on the stand?"
No. That's hard.
That's not. How would you get away with that?
I don't think that's what Cernovich.
Yeah, Cernovich, that'd be pushing it. Does the fact that 0 people have testified towards anything she said put her under perjury? Just curious. Well, you can be the only one to say something, but if there's proof positive you're lying about something, or whether you've made a written statement, for example, a police report, you filed a police report and you've said X happened and Y happened, that could be problematic. I don't know if we have that here.
Perjury is a criminal charge. There's no such thing as a DEA who would have enough interest in going after her for perjury. If she got up there and said on March 15th, swears under oath, on March 15th, Johnny came to me in my penthouse and punched me in the face, and there was video evidence that he was at a premiere in New Zealand on the day in question. Proof positive, and then more video of her saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to lie about him and claim that he hit me on March 15th." There is 0 district attorneys to be like, "Yeah, I'm going to prosecute her for perjury." There's nothing she can say.
The only time perjury is used, perjury is only brought as a criminal charge when there's an agenda by the prosecutor, and it might be a justified agenda. Frequently, it's political. Or somebody
Michael Cohen
needs
Michael Cohen.
some. Well, Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, everything about that was political, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Sword and Scale says, have you seen the claim that Amber Heard quoted talented Mr. Ripley word for word while on the stand? What do you think?
Yes, I
Also, if you
retweeted
haven't
that.
seen it, look at my. You retweeted it. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up real quick, Ron. If you retweeted it, that'll make it a little bit easier on me. But man, that's pretty bad.
Funny. I would love to see a side by side of her talking and talented Mr. Ripley section that she was quoting. That would be awesome.
This is pretty good. Here, let me pull up Ron's tweet.
I keep hearing that she's channeling Gone Girl.
Okay, here. No, she's definitely with the bottle because the bottle is a plot point in Gone Girl.
I never saw the movie, but
that scene. Oh, it's one. And by the way, Gone Girl is 100% toxic blonde white women, entitled white women. Like that's Amber Heard. Like she sees herself in that, and she sees herself in winning over Johnny Depp. Like that whole putting yourself in the shoes of the protagonist from Gone Girl is like putting yourself in the shoes of Bateman. I mean, this is like you're putting yourself in the shoes of a really horrible person. It's not great.
Psychopath.
So Amber Heard. Yeah, psychopath. Yeah. Amber Heard. The thing with Johnny, it's like sun shines on you and it's glorious, and then he forgets you and it's very, very cold. When you have his attention, you'll feel like you're the only person in the world. That's why everybody loves him so much. That was Amber Heard. Talented Mr. Ripley. The thing with Dickie, it's like the sun shines on you and it's glorious. And when he forgets you and it's very, very cold. Tom Ripley, so I'm learning. When you have his attention, you feel like you're the only person in the world. That's why everyone loves him. Holy shit.
Wow.
That's verbatim.
That's unbelievable.
Wow. I would love to see video.
Verbatim.
I want to see video side by side of that because that would probably be so cool.
Okay, Joey.
Wow. Guys in the chat. Okay, hold on. We'll send out a call. People in the chat, if you can side by side her with Mr. Ripley, all of us are going to retweet you and you will gain that fame. So I'm going to put that out right now on the chat because the chat will do it. Oh, we have 1,000 of you. Smash the like button. Follow all of us on Twitter.
So someone is denying that. Someone is denying that she actually ever really said that.
Okay, so there's a denial here. People are saying.
Let me know because then I'll have to.
Well, I'm saying that's why I'm saying side by side it. If it exists, side by side it. If it didn't, then then don't do it. Right? Then you won't be able to do it. That would prove positive one way or another. By the way, the Jew ranking apparently is Ron, Nate, Viva, Rackets, and then Joe.
I forgot about Rackets. That obviously.
Yes. You're really fallen, man. You're really fallen.
Still top 5.
SSR.
Can I climb one spot if I tell you that I convinced a guest of mine 2 days ago that Senator Raphael Warnock is properly labeled an Uncle
T?
Uncle T. Yes.
Uncle T. T.
I spent 3 minutes spelling out my argument to prove that based on what that means, how you define that he's the ultimate. Yeah, he's the ultimate Timmy. We'll call him the ultimate Timmy.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You've got good code language. YouTube, you got to come up with all the code language, but those are good. You've done a good job there.
I actually said it on stream, and I was terrified for the next 48 hours that I was gonna get like my channel yeeted.
Yeah, axed. Yeah. You got to be careful, man. This is not Twitter. This is not Twitter.
We need Elon to buy Twitter, to buy YouTube.
Hey, Ron, have you noticed, because you're really active on Twitter, have you noticed an uptick in your, because I noticed as soon as Elon was, announced, the buyout was announced, that the followers were going up and
I gained about 15,000 followers in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's slowed down considerably the last couple of days. I spend too much time on Twitter, but by virtue of the time I spend on Twitter, I can feel it. I can feel it. The engagement's lower. For a moment, it was like walking in the garden. It was like exactly what you would expect if you were as brilliant and witty as I am, and you already had 180,000 followers. You would expect a level of engagement that would get you to 200. Listen, I moved sideways at 135,000 for easily a year and a half. I mean, it was so obvious what they were doing. They're playing games.
By the way, similarly, just like Ron went up 15,000 over the last 2 weeks, I noticed I've gone up like at least 19 people during that time. So I know exactly what he's talking about, and thank God, it's about time.
Yeah. Valiant says, I have had to dissect clients like Amber before in my practice. Her testimony had all of my antennas up. It should have you being like, bullshit. Because if you're in a practice where like people's truthfulness matters, and you're assessing this not on feelings, because like I'll have people, if I play in a vacuum and they don't know about Amber and they don't know about her history, they don't know about anything else, they say, well, it could be true or it could not be true. But then when you know about Amber, you're like, and you're watching her, you're really questioning this. See, Matthew says, illegal mindfuck. Need to see you on one of Racket stream this week while the trial's on break. I see why everyone wants to stream it separately. I mean, I'm not streaming it separately because I ain't got time for that. But I'm happy to join other people. I love coming on Rackets. I love coming on anybody. I'll come up and talk. My whole thing is I prefer to have conversations like we're having right here with Ron and Joe, like a small group where we're having like substantial conversation. If it gets too big, sometimes I feel like it's too much, So I sometimes look at, hey, what's the smaller stream so I can help out that stream and have a good conversation about it.
Yes, the smaller stream. The smaller stream.
The smallest, the better, right, Joe?
Yeah, the small. I'm like an old man stream.
What are you talking about? I don't know.
I'm talking about my okay, Ron. I'm talking about the stream, my daily stream of this trial. Where
you mean
I'm.
I thought you had the stream. You wake up in the morning.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about the old man stream. Yeah, but that's what it looks like. It basically looks like some old man, like at 2 a.m. has to get out of bed and take care of his stream. That's what my stream looks like all day.
Yeah, and I'm gonna check out. I see people are saying the Twitter. So by the way, Biden says, "Yo guys, keep up the good work. Good to see you, Joe." SoCal Chris says, "Dr. Muffins is gonna tear her apart." Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good battle of the witnesses. LM, check Twitter user. So I have that video pulled up, so I'm going to play it in a second.
Ron's mic is terrible.
Yeah, it happens, Ron. It's okay. We forgive you. Cigar Gangster
and
says.
Then you wonder why you have 38 subs. It's because you're sitting there talking into like some tin can. It's like you hold a tin can under your armpit, and you're like basically talking like and you're like, why? And people are like, if we could hear you, we would follow you like in a heartbeat. There are millions of people who have said that already. I can't.
Who are ready? Cigar says Amber Heard has been Amber Heard has been diagnosed with a personality disorder. Why wouldn't she be able to tell creative stories like Hans Christian Andersen? Well, she's an actor, right? So that's what they do. They tell stories and they try to tell them convincingly, even when they're pretty much BS, right? So yeah, that's definitely a thing. All right, let me play this clip here while Ron is bounced out. We'll just play this clip here of the side by side. So this was sent to me, guys, on Twitter. So shout out to those people who sent it to me. It's from A.R. Mastrangelo, Alana Mastrangelo or Mastrangelo. So here we go. Unfortunately, Lon Cuck is on this one.
When I was around Johnny, I felt like the most beautiful person in the whole world.
See, it's all about how he makes her feel.
He made me feel like $1 million. It felt like a dream. It felt like absolute magic. And then he would disappear. And there'd be just no way to get a hold of him, no way to contact him.
The thing with Dickie, it's like the sun shines on you and it's glorious. And then he forgets you and it's very, very cold.
So I'm learning.
When you have his attention, you feel like you're the only person in the world. That's why everybody loves him.
Like when I was around Johnny, I felt like the most beautiful person in the whole world. You know, it made me feel seen, made me feel like $1 million.
See,
that facial expression though. I'm sorry, like that's what I don't.
Do it again. What do you mean that facial expression?
Hold on. Let me play that one more time because she did a facial expression right there at the end.
She like squinches her nose up.
Yeah, she squinches her nose. Let me see. I think it's in the beginning. It's actually
like she's trying hard to sell it.
She's really trying to sell it. Let me pop it open one more time. I had to reshare it because I unshared this bad boy.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to give you homework.
Yeah, I think it's right here.
I feel bad now.
Boom. Yeah, Jeremy. Thanks to shout out to Jeremy Nadler who sent this to me on. It's right, I think, at the beginning.
I think it's Nadler or Nadler, like Jerry Nadler.
Here we go. Play this. Come on, Korean internet.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Bro, this is horrible.
When you're streaming and that happens, it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
I know. It's like, come on, man. It's a 51 second clip. But she was scrunching her nose at the end there.
Yeah, I've seen her do the nose scrunch. It's not going to work. I know that circle. I've been there.
This is the circle of death, guys. This is the circle of death. All right.
God.
We tried it. Anyways, she scrunched her nose up like that.
Yeah. Well, so we have like I figure I'm going to start my stream like.
Joe almost got 300 viewers today, and then right as he was within range, he scrolled the screen off the trial during the grape scene. Is that true, Joe? Is this true?
It's not during the grape screen.
Is this true?
Right after. It was okay. Yeah, it was not that. Yeah.
Check out the clip that Cernovich tweeted out. I want to see your takes. Okay, I'll try to find that. If it'll fucking work, I'll try to find that for you guys. But yeah, she was squinching her nose up like that. So that side by side, okay, it wasn't as verbatim, right? But it does seem like in general she's taking the plot from movies, right?
Yeah.
That she's taking these plots from movies and then trying to use it. Oh, Jeremy already hit me up, man. Jeremy's 2 for 2 on this. He already sent me the thing in my Twitter immediately. So, Jeremy, man, you're coming through today. Appreciate that, brother. All right, so we're gonna share this and play this right now.
Mental condition.
Oh shit!
It's still hearsay, Your Honor.
Oh shit! Let's replay that. Hold on, Joe. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I was.
Joe, pay attention.
All right, I'm sorry.
Focus. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Watch.
Mental condition.
It doesn't. It's still hearsay, Your Honor.
Oh shit! That's.
May we approach?
What are we
yeah,
seeing?
based on her reactions, that's very possible.
What are we seeing? I don't know what I'm looking at.
Joe, have you? Okay, well, I'm not gonna ask you the question on whether you've done coke, but like,
I haven't.
That's a possible. We're watching her take she's taking a hit of coke out of the napkin, which she wrapped it up in, maybe.
That looks like an inhale.
That was an inhale.
Yeah.
May we approach?
Yeah, and the fact that she like snorted back in there.
Wow.
I'm like really gonna analyze like. That was an inhale.
Yeah.
That was an inhale.
That's an inhale.
That's an inhale. Holy shit, guys, we may have actually caught her snorting coke on the thing. I mean, what do you guys think in the chat? Hold on, guys, in the chat, let's do a poll right now.
Wow.
Can I I've actually never run a poll on my chat. I think I gotta go to the actual video. Let's see. Okay, I'll just do it with the unofficial way, guys. C for if she did a bump of cocaine. C if she did coke.
And
D if she didn't.
All right.
D if the only thing she got was the D. C if she took a hit. I want to see C's in the chat if she took a hit. D's if she did not. Right? See what you guys think in the chat. That is pretty good evidence.
That was pretty solid.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty interesting right there. Pretty slick though. Pretty slick. Getting a lot of C's in the chat. Okay, we're getting a lot of C's in the chat.
Right.
A lot of C's. Okay.
I prefer you get a lot of C's.
We got one D.
And if you get a lot of D's.
Yeah, I don't like getting a lot of D's, but C's are pretty thick here, guys. The C's are clearly win. The C's clearly win. I feel like we're not a great poll you, Boomer. I'm like, no, I know how to do it. I just don't have the other fucking.
As if nobody ever gave you a D before.
Yeah. Well, hey, no, in school definitely.
That's
yeah, just in school. Am I too late to get Ron's Fuda answer? This is the wrong stream, guys. Don't ask racket questions on my stream. On my stream, the question is cat girl or vampire girl. That is my question, right? He's got Fuda. I've got cat girls and vampire girls. If you want to ask an inappropriate question, get it right on my channel, right?
All right.
If it's Joe's channel, you can ask Levin or unleavened. Like, I mean, we've all got our questions, right?
That's true.
So yeah, I got that clip. Let me make sure I got everything else. I think that was pretty much it. But yeah,
are we going to talk about the crazy psychologist before? Like,
let's do it right now. Let's do it right now because I know I
have a half hour.
We got 15 minutes, right? You start in 15.
Yeah, I do. But I pushed. I hadn't set up my stream before I came on.
No, let's do it in 15. Yeah.
No, I set my stream up for 10:15. So.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's talk about a psychologist. I mean, you're in New York. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So
Dr. Karen, and man, her face. I mean, like Joe. You cannot get a more like the difference between Dr. Mommy, which like irrefutably, I literally showed that picture to a girl, and I was like, "Do you think this woman?" She's like, "Yeah, that woman is attractive." I'm like, "Yes." Like, I think objectively,
yeah.
Dr. Mommy attractive. Dr. Karen literally
Attractive enough that when she's questioned about her time drinking wine with Johnny Depp, you genuinely can picture Johnny Depp engaging her in more than just psychology.
Dr. Mommy.
I mean, yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
is the insinuation is not if she was 50 years older than she actually is, then there's the insinuation. There would be no point to insinuation. She's sufficiently attractive, sufficiently within the range of what you would think. You're like, I could picture Johnny Depp saying, "I'll take a bite of that." That the insinuation holds some credibility to it.
I wouldn't even blame him. I'm gonna be honest.
Right, exactly.
But like I wouldn't even hold it
why
against him because guess what? That's not subject to anything right now. He's not being defamed because he had an affair. Like once again, Hollywood, do drugs, do crazy stuff, have sex. Oh my God, sex outside of marriage. What is this, 1942? Like, come on.
It's not 1942, but if she's getting banged by Johnny Depp, it does affect her.
Oh yeah. It would affect that part.
Say like, oh, okay, fine. Your lovers. You're now staying as a psychologist, psychoanalyzing your lovers.
I get that part. I'm just talking about societal judgment part.
Right. Right.
If not coke, then the substance made her cry tears.
Yeah, it might have been onion.
It's true. It could be that.
Quick. That tends to work quick. She would have started crying like right away.
Yeah. Any L-shaped tube would work in that scenario.
I don't know.
Snort? Yeah, if she had like a little tube there. Okay, yeah, that would true. That's true. What about a knuckle, wrist, or elbow? I mean, okay. Favorite? In my favorite Mr. Chow Hangover 2 voice. But first, I'm gonna do a little bump.
First, I'm gonna do a little bump. A little bump.
Yeah. I can't do the Chow voice. I really can't. I have to like call someone Asian to do that voice. But yes. So psychologist, Joe, thoughts?
Okay. If you're not from New York City region, haven't spent considerable time around people, around your typical rich elitist New Yorker, you need to understand both what they present and who they are underneath it, because what they like to present and how they think of themselves is very different from who they are inside. On the outside, they are arrogant, entitled, think they're smarter than anybody, think basically most of the world are a bunch of idiots. Some of their fellow New Yorkers may be intelligent, but anyone who's actually enlightened about the world lives either in New York or in LA. And that the rest of the country is a bunch of bumpkin seeds, and they have an IQ far lower than them, certainly far less educated. Education and your pedigree speaks volumes about who you are. Your integrity doesn't really matter. Who you are and your CV is a definition of who you are as a person. That's defining you. And the ability for her to flash her CV and spend 30 minutes talking about her is better. That is literally psychologically for her. That's like diddling. It is the greatest feeling. I'm here in front of the entire world telling them all just how brilliant and accomplished I am. That was for her. That is the greatest feeling in the world. I think she would do the job for that alone, not aside from the money, which she's charging $500 an hour. Which
it's chump change, come on, nothing, right?
That's
it's
not,
the pennies,
by the way,
right? Pennies.
That's not crazy high money for.
It's not unreasonable.
It's not unreasonable. Certainly not one who has an office in Madison Avenue, because but she's her everything is about title. If you have title, that's status, that's recognition, and that is what you build your whole sense of value into. That is what you value. It is the emptiest thing in the world to value. It is a reflection of the fact that you have zero moral character, and that your whole values are screwed up. They tend to be very alone, very aggressive in their relationships, difficult to deal with, impossible to change their mind on anything, and they always think that they're right. And they tend to be very woke. And embracing that, because that's part of their whole status symbol, that I am the most enlightened one. So I can appreciate that I'm standing up for the underdog, where they, the poor little 6-year-old trans kid, or the black community, or this thing or that. And that's how I show my greatness, even though I never would want any of them living anywhere near me. But if I have a little trans kid who's like a token trans kid, that would be okay. But I certainly wouldn't want to have any I wouldn't want to have poor people living around me. I'm okay if they're black. if as long as they have money and they're cultured like I am, that's okay.
Right.
So they say I'm not a racist. They're the ones who basically the origin of I'm not a racist because I have black friends, but the
Right.
black friends basically are in the same social circle that they're in. Their black friends
Right.
basically are the same type of elitist Barack Obama's, basically.
Right, to
But they're
Barack
just
Obama.
not-
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like the best example. Like I'm friends with the Obamas. Like I bought
Right.
Obama's book. I must not be racist. Like, come on.
They're,
get out
they're
of here.
shallow, vapid, very insecure, terribly afraid of losing their status or, being attacked that, your CV isn't really as great as you're making it out to be, or you're not really as intelligent as you make yourself out to be. And once they take a position, and they're going to be very pro women in all circumstances. And that's why this woman over here, the cross-examination was a joke. It was so bad. It was so easy. She basically put her head on a T-ball and handed him an aluminum bat and said, whack my head out of here. And he was just like swing and miss or fouling it off. And you're like, are you hitting the tee itself and the ball falling on her head falling on the ground? And you're like, how? Get a golf club now. It's so easy. It's just swing. Just miss. This is how easy it is. You start off and you say, do you recognize that there are circumstances where in a heterosexual relationship, the man is the victim and the woman is the abuser?
That's it.
That question there, she has to say yes. Otherwise, she's not a psychologist. That sometimes it happens, right? And then the follow-up question is, have you ever testified? You've testified all these different cases. Have you ever researched a case, worked in any case where you reached a conclusion that the man was the victim and the woman was the abuser?
And that's
the
it.
answer is zero. And right out, you can
There,
always
boom,
sit down.
done.
And you know what? You can even ask those questions and then just, okay, thank you. Nothing further. Sit down. Boom. That's it. You leave that out there for the jury to just ponder.
I like that.
Like, that's it. You literally could have finished
like
the whole cross-examination in 3 minutes. There you go.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. Nothing further.
Done.
Sit down. They would be in stunned silence. The whole room would be in stunned. You imagine a cross-examination that short after she spent like 4 hours testifying. And it's like, I just want the jury to know that you always find for the woman. You're always going to, and that's what you're basically presented to the jury here.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
It's
saying like that. That's it.
It's
You
lethal.
don't. And man, I'm gonna get in this with actually I had Jay Shore, who's a guy who's an ADA advocate who I was worked with, who's going to come on and talk about the Duluth model, right? Because I think we all need a refresher on the Duluth model of power and control and how that's kind of taken over and how that kind of implicitly.
I don't know what the Duluth model is. What is that?
Oh, really? It's the model that is commonly used to diagnose or rather set males as the abusers, because all the factors in the model point to the male being the abuser and the female kind of never being the abuser. So it essentially sets up a system where men are doomed to be called the accusers, pretty much the abusers rather, every single time. Like every single factor in it pretty much points towards men, right? This is men. So it sets up that it presupposes that, and she falls squarely into that viewpoint where it's going to be men are the issue, right? She may have to theoretically say that, because if she comes out and says off rip that there's no situation in which a female can be an abuser, right, she loses credibility. But there's a deeper problem in that the way that they're trained to assess these issues, and the way that I believe she was, is undergirded by a philosophy that concludes, like you said, Joe, in every instance that the man is going to be the abuser. Like you said, you asked the question, have you ever, applying your knowledge, skills, whatever, have you ever come up to a conclusion that a woman has been the abuser? When they say no, that's it. Sit down. Done.
Yeah.
Hunch says it was a bullet wrapped in tissue like a proper white girl. Used to see it bartending all the time. There you go. Okay. There you go. So snorted that cocaine bullet. I mean, that is a white girl shit. I mean, I've seen girls go in the bathroom and do that shit all the time. Is charge higher to do drugs on stand than outside? I don't know. Like, I think it'd be the same charge. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the same possession charge?
Yeah, the same possession charge inside or outside the courtroom. I mean, like, the judge could sanction you, right? I mean, because, right, it happened in the courts. Like, I guess the judge, this is a good theoretical question, right? The judge can impose extra sanctions on Amber Heard because she did it on the stand. The judge could.
It'd be really funny if all of a sudden, like, there's another case there, and like the bear that came by with one of his dogs, you know, like the police dogs, and the dog just started going wild at her, like look at her, like purse or something. That would be great. I was like, what the hell?
The little beagle starts going crazy. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. So it says he dunked my head into a vat of liquid nitrogen, shattered it with a hand. Oh shit!
That's what I love to see all over Twitter. Like basically different people making quotes about like the type of crazy abuse that
like the level that's like insane.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he sawed off my pinky and index finger and I had to get a prosthetic, you know. It's like it just is ridiculous. You know, oh thank God it grew back nice.
Oh, that's what I want to see from you. I want to see a quote from you, like something like, yeah, Johnny Depp sawed off my penis and now I have prosthetic.
Now I'm a female. I actually had a penis before Johnny Depp sawed it off. I got free gender reassignment surgery. But yes, Darth Eddie says it, by the way, here. The bigger, the stronger the abuser is equals the Duluth model. Exactly. It's like bigger, stronger, economic power, you know, society power, all this other stuff. So that's the Duluth model. Sword and Scale, Joe makes a great point about the doctor's cross. He's a great lawyer, terrible physicist, but a great lawyer.
I'll take that.
Yeah, terrible physicist.
That's because I had I've had
I know it's the Einstein. It's the Einstein. Yeah. I get it. It's fine. We allow it. We're all allowed to speak outside of our areas of expertise and not know what the fuck we're talking about. Second charge of contraband. Has she had a first? Wait, has Amber Heard caught a drug charge? That would be really interesting if it like wasn't her first drug charge.
That would be interesting. I think she might have.
I would believe it too.
Sorry, Scott, I'd love to see you make a video proving that Einstein was correct. Okay, brother? I want to see that. I will.
Oh my God.
And please,
are we doing this right now? Are we really doing this right now?
By all means, feel free to reference me. You can actually throw a little quip for my thing saying this is what this idiot thinks, and that's totally fine. I will not call it defamatory. If anything, just give a link to my channel. I'm totally cool.
Literally call Joe the worst names possible. Make it as potentially defamatory as possible. Because I want to see the lawsuit. I want to see the Sword and Scale versus Joe defamation lawsuit. I want to do it. I want to cover it. I
would love to see Sword and Scale try to prove that I'm wrong.
He says done. He challenge accepted. So he just challenge accepted you, bro.
Add me up on Twitter so I can know it. Yeah.
Okay, guys, you've seen this. It is Sword and Scale versus Joe Nierman on the theory of relativity. Done.
I would love it. I would love it.
Done.
Please, and feel free to include a clip from any of those streams. Reference me. Just tag my channel. That's all, brother.
IWD says, I get the impression that any service dog that sniffs Heard would end up needing an emergency Narcan shot. Oh my God. Probably need some antibiotics too, like some penicillin while they're at it. Oh God, I would not need to get anywhere near that.
I feel bad because Johnny shredded up her vagina there. So.
Oh yeah. Wait, did Tug do a video on this? On not on relativity, I don't think, but
I don't know what he.
Maybe on Amber Heard, but if he did, because that's what he's covering. He's not covering relativity. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. All right. Oh, Michael says general or special relativity. I think you're just going in general. Right?
There we go. We're not starting.
Okay. We're not going there, guys. Okay. But let me ask you this, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they won't? Like, how do you think Cross is going to go for Amber?
So, look, after I saw the way Cross went for that doctor, I was very disheartened, and I was like, I don't know if I trust him on Cross. I referenced quickly, but didn't really detail why I was so impressed with Camille Vasquez. She's the one who will be doing Cross. We know this because she's the one who's doing.
She's the woman too. It's a smart move, by the way. Smart move,
and it is a smart move.
It's going to get her on edge. She's going to be so on edge because she's a pretty woman doing the Cross. She's going to be very triggered by that.
The optics of a man making her potentially cry is just really bad. You don't want to give her the opportunity to make a man look bad, and Johnny's male lawyer, look bad. It's just terrible optics. So it is much healthier to have a woman doing that. And she seems to be an exceptionally competent attorney in the sense that you can't appreciate how locked in you need to be and how focused you need to be on every question and answer when you're the objecting attorney, especially when you have the main, you have that, this is the main testimony of the entire trial, even more so than Johnny's testimony. And you need to be locked in as to the question. And as the question is coming out, thinking to yourself, is that a valid question, or is that a question I need to object to? And what would be the basis of that objection? It could be leading, it could be hearsay, assumes facts not in evidence. But then you're listening to the answer, and you're, is this bolstering? All these different things. And then gauging also her responses. As soon as she goes into hearsay, objection, hearsay, before it comes out of her mouth, you have to be locked in there. And what is the likely thing that's going to come out of her mouth next before it happens, so I can stop it from coming out? That is a skill which, litigators spend years trying to master. And she seems to really master it. And when she was doing it, it clearly unnerved Elaine, that she's like, I don't know how to ask questions here, because everything I'm asking, I'm hearing objections sustained. And when you're in that role, and that everyone in the courtroom is looking at you, you feel there's a certain level of embarrassment.
And here's the other thing too. Carmen is a young attorney versus an old attorney. So it's making it look like you don't know what the fuck you're doing while you're getting schooled by this kid. This kid is schooling you right now.
And it's very unsettling, because you feel when you're the attorney in that position. I've been in that position when I was younger as an attorney. I've been in that position, and you feel like a moron. You feel like you're like,
I was like, maybe because she is, Joe. I'm just saying, because she is.
But it's literally humiliating. So you're basically now trying to engage your brain while overcoming the shame that you're feeling inside, that I don't know how to ask a question. And I've got this high-paying attorney, this high-paying client here. This is being watched by millions of people, and I'm dropping the ball because I can't figure out how to do my job of asking a question and setting up my client in a proper way. So that's a lot of pressure that you're feeling in that moment that Camille was putting on her. And I think that this morning's testimony came across very weakly, because she was doing that so effectively. And then at the same time, when you're objecting attorney, you don't want to overdo it to the point that the jury's looking at you for objecting, like, why are you trying to hide everything? Why? That's the way it reads to a jury. If you say every 3 seconds, you're like, objection, objection. It may not be wise to say objection, because the jury's gonna be like, well, you're just trying to use technicalities so we don't hear the truth about how bad Johnny is. So that's a fear that, as his counsel, you have to have. And I felt that she did a great job of being locked in there and cutting her off, and she showed great insight. And I'm hopeful that she could show the same great insight when she actually conducts the cross. The only knock I had on her is that when you do get objection hearsay, you want to move to strike. If she started answering, because a lot of times started answering afterwards, you want to move to strike. And I think if she actually said that once or twice, it would have unnerved Amber that much more, because she's like, oh my God, if I say things wrong, then it's not even gonna count. So I'm gonna have to do this all over again. So it's like, it sort of becomes unsettling for Amber Heard if you get, because if you say objection hearsay and it's sustained, that means that anything that she said in answer to it has to be stricken for the record. Now the jury still heard it. You can't unring that bell. They still heard.
But I think Vasquez is doing the objections pretty quickly, so she's actually like doing it so that
cutting off most of it.
Cutting out most of it. So I think she's actually doing a good job on that part.
She is. But I think once or twice she could have said move to strike, and that would have affected Amber that much more. You want to get under her skin so that she's not comfortable up there testifying. So, I thought she could have done that, but that's something that for some reason attorneys seem to forget about, the whole move to strike thing. But here in New York, that happen all the time. But I haven't, the trials I've been watching on YouTube, I almost never see move to strike. I can't remember hearing that 3 times. So, but all in all, for what she's supposed to be doing, the way she's so locked in and so attuned to it, she has displayed incredible skill as an attorney. And I'm hopeful that perhaps she will be strong on the cross. And there's so much material to cross here.
The infinite amount to cross. Johnny says Amber Heard was arrested at 16 for driving without a license and under the influence. Doesn't say what it was. You guys are great. Now, most likely it's drinking, most likely, because that's what you can usually measure. Like, we've only recently started testing for stuff like and they barely ever do pot. Like, in Florida, they don't even do that anymore in terms of like testing whether you're under the influence of marijuana. They will do it if you're drinking, though.
It's shocking she got pulled over, because pretty girls never get hit with those charges.
She must not have put on the game enough. I mean, I don't know what she's doing.
Never.
Low enough top.
That's where pretty privilege really kicks in. It's basically when the cop, when you see those lights kick in, that's when
you start crying. She clearly, you know what it was, Joe? She's not a good enough crier. That's what it is. She didn't cry. She can't cry. Somebody sent me.
Somebody she could squeeze out is between her legs.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. By the way, he says, great program, Andrew. Cheers from Australia and back. Yeah, no, thank you guys from around the world for joining me. Really appreciate this. It's really great. It's good to be back here, man. I'm having fun back here in Korea, and I'm glad to be joined by my colleague, Joe. IWD said Heard apparently caught some sort of narc beef in 2003. Guess it wasn't brought up by Depp's attorney in rebuttal because it was mediocre, happened when she was a kid. Also because they're all painfully mediocre. IWD also because criminal history is something that is a huge no-no in most trials to admit because it's more prejudicial than probative in most cases. You have to have a crime that's like lined up with what's at stake in this trial. So it's got to be, for example, a crime of dishonesty in a case about dishonesty. So if it's a crime of dishonesty and it's a fraud case, then yeah, you can usually bring that up, right? But if it's like a drug case and she was a kid, they probably can't mention that. I mean, Joe, do you have a different take on that, or?
No, with respect to prior history, that's usually considered more prejudicial than probative.
Now we'll say one thing. Nick brought this up. I want to get your take on it. They said that because the psychologist said
she had never
a kid hit a woman or something like that. Yeah. Did that open the door, do you think, or no?
Okay, so I'm surprised that the judge not allow that in for purposes of impeachment. In order and also to show that, like, look, you based your all your testimony, you didn't see any of these things. The only thing you spent 29 hours with Amber and 0 minutes with Johnny when you reach a conclusion that Johnny is this crazy abusive person. He committed more violence than Amber, not just more violence, but that they're not even mutually violent, that he's the only violent one. And all this is based on things you heard Amber tell you or things you read about what Amber had said. You don't know anything about this, about what actually happened here. And if you knew, you talk about how, people have patterns in the way they act, so if she had a pattern, if you knew that she had a police record for hitting a woman, would that lead you to believe that maybe she was the aggressor in this? Would that affect your position as to whether maybe she was at least the mutually violent in this relationship?
Yeah.
And that does seem that's more probative than prejudicial, and it should have been admitted in. I'm staring at these signs over your left shoulder and thinking that looks like a laboratory on a plane. That's what it looks like.
This is Korean for CCTV in operation and authorized personnel only. But yes, if you like CCTV watching you in the airplane, Joe, that's your kink. I mean, I'm
literally,
okay with that.
It looks like one of those signs.
I don't mind.
See, like I'm expecting. I thought when you moved away, I was going to see one of those little locks that says like vacant versus occupied.
I'm in here, Joe. Stop peeping. Joe is the type of guy who would peep in the airport bathroom. Charles says, Amber Heard. And at that point, sniff, look at the jury. Johnny helped Skynet become self-aware and they harm me. Okay, so Nina Infinity just texted me something which is really good. So I'm gonna play these two clips and then we're gonna wrap this up. But there's two good clips here that I need to show you guys. One of which is when she was posing for a photo. This is insanity, guys. That she literally is taking scheduled press photos. Look at this.
Finished the process of detox in LA, and I had my friends out with my girlfriends there to support me as per usual.
So Michelle, can you pull up 272, please?
Look at this. Watch. See the photo flash? Do you guys see it?
Yeah.
You both
I'm gonna play it one more time. For those who didn't see it, watch. Here. Camera flash.
And after
and she held it like that.
Yeah. That's her PR guy who took that picture.
That is ridiculous. They told her to do that. I guarantee
sign, and by the way, the sign is gonna be like when you pull the tissue out, that's when we're gonna take the picture.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see it until the picture. That's why she's glancing. I'm holding the tissue now. Pose. And it looks like I'm crying in the picture because there's a tissue to my face.
Yeah.
That was the tip off that it's time.
And here's the thing. That's why it's great that we're exposing this shit, because otherwise, guys, if this was a smaller trial or people didn't have their eyes on this, Amber would get away with this. The PR person told her to do this because they get away with it normally. This is like AOC at the fence level of fake photo. Like this is that level. Okay. This is what Nina, you sent me this. So I'm gonna hold you accountable for this, but this is the movie quotes.
Drinking Beck's and tea, like lots of tea, like lots of tea.
Drink tea. There's lots of tea. It's like the sun shines on you and it's glorious.
Yep.
He said,
Wow.
I'd rather cut my hand off than ever lay it on you or lay it upon you, you know, and he had that way of talking. It felt like poetry.
Wow.
And pulled her into him and said, do you know how many pounds of pressure it takes to break a human wrist?
How many pounds? Let's to break.
It was on a Netflix show. I Am a Killer.
That's funny. What's that from? What did she say?
I don't know what that was from at all, but I guess it was just like that part. I don't think was quotes just much as like where she's getting her inspiration, like just more of a monologue.
I guess so.
Yeah, it might be too long. I'll probably get claimed. I'll clip it. Don't worry about Nina, bro. Nina, I'm so good at clipping all this stuff out. Don't worry about it. We got it, sister. But that being said, a man who is never clipped and never cucked, except for maybe on an Israeli beach, but that's a story for another day. Guys, my friend Joe Nierman, thank you so much, Joe. Joe, I'm glad we're getting back going again now that I'm back here with a stable internet connection. The US was really weird. My connection was horrible, but as long as you have me, I'll be on your channel next week.
Of course.
Okay.
This is our weekly thing. We're
Back
Stella.
groove,
we got our
baby.
groove back.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're grooving here. We're grooving, guys. Me and Joe are grooving. So I'll be back on your channel. I'll see you around. I'll definitely jump if you're streaming. I'll jump on your streamception. I'm not messing with my sound system, but I'll hang out with you for a bit. Guys, love you all.
Great.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Take care. Go over, follow Joe. Joe's starting a stream right now. Talk to you later.
Godspeed.